The you are right now is not the you that you will be once you're healed, or even when you are manifesting. The you that you are right now isn't the version of you that is going to bring your desire into reality. And I think we know this instinctively. I am someone who, due to my own personal trials and tribulations with this section of the population, for the past few years, I've kind of gotten into learning more about narcissistic abuse and being able to spot it in my environment, in the media, in politics. And it's something so fascinating to actually consciously witness, be able to pick up on and be like, wow, okay, that is such a different way to think. And I think what narcissists get right is they understand the power of identity. And I think this is where empaths usually get stuck, and also survivors of abuse, because our ego gets damaged in the process of our upbringing or poor relationships. And especially if you're someone who are struggling with CPTSD from childhood and then adult relationship trauma, it compounds. And so it can be really hard to break through that fenced in, and not even fenced in, but locked in identity that says you're not worthy, good things are not going to happen for you, healing is hard, you're not loved. Your identity, part of who you are, gets so wrapped up in the trauma that you can't feel your way through sometimes. You know what you need to do. You maybe have access to your deeper knowing. You can maybe hear that quiet voice at times, but trusting it is hard. That quiet power that we all have becomes harder and harder to hear when we don't really identify with it fully. And so there are no, set steps to healing or even manifesting, as much as healers and coaches and therapists and psychiatrists, as much as us healers want to tell you, here are the steps. We want to make it simple. We all know it's not. There aren't set steps. But I do want to help you understand the power of identity and how it can help the process go a lot smoother. And this actually may challenge you to consider your psyche a little bit differently. A lot of us approach healing and manifesting as something that is a journey that we're going through to become. How do I explain this? So we're starting out from A, and something happens. So now we are B, we're the wounded self, right? We start out as A, something happens, tragedy, chaos, awfulness, or in the terms of, actually it's the same process even when we're manifesting, right? Let's just start with healing. Let's not confuse ourselves. We start off as A, something happens, we are B currently, wounded self. We have all of these maladaptive traits or protective mechanisms. It's hard for us to see the world clearly because we're operating from fear. We're not trusting the knowing, and we're also not trusting the outside world. It's confusing. And so usually we think that in order to heal, we have to undo the processes to get back to A, or we go on a journey to become something new, which is C. And I kind of want to throw that all away. At the basis of this thought process is that there is a set self, and this set self is journeying through time in this kind of logical way, right? I was this, I am this now, I want to be this. And therefore, I need to journey through time, healing activities, inner work, in order to either return to past self or become new self. This is kind of, it's almost as if we are like a particle that can only go on this one track. We can not really rewind, but we can undo the steps sort of to get back to an older version. We can reconnect to our inner child. We can come back to that essence, or we have to journey forward and embody new lessons, integrate the learnings and become something new. And those are all valid, but I want to introduce a new way of thinking about it. Rather than seeking to become a self or return to a self, I want to argue or simply propose to you that the version of you, that healed version of you, and no one is perfectly healed, but the version of you that you're longing for isn't out there somewhere. It's not at the end of a process. It's actually already within you. It's something that is already within you. It's something that needs to be realized by you. All of the processes, the healing processes, whether you go to talk therapy, you do breath work, whatever you do, they're modalities, they're modes to helping you to realize this inner potential. And this is why we say healers don't really heal. We give you the kind of environment that allow this realization to occur. And there's many different ways to go about it. And I think all are valid. It just depends on the person. And so when we release this idea that the healed version of us is something that we have to journey towards or excavate to dig back up, or when we hold that belief, if you want to keep holding that belief, you absolutely can. But when we hold that in unison with the idea that there is a part of me that is already there, that is already where I'm wanting to go, and it's existing within me right now. This is my work with the deeper self. I call it the deeper self, but I don't really have a name for it. I just wanted to have a way to communicate about it with people, but this is known by many, many names. Inner being, the state of deep presence, or the powerful now, our enlightened nature, Buddha nature, you name it. Higher self. But in my experience, it's not a self that is high and above and out there in the future, but deep within and present. And it interacts with the ego in interesting ways. It can offer mental bridges towards the desired self, the self that is healed, the self that is trusting again, the self that does love again, the self that will actualize your desires. And so when we shift the way we think about who we are in this way, it kind of makes you a little excited, but also maybe scared. You may notice that resistance comes up immediately. I can just tune into that right now. I can do that. I don't have to struggle. And this is where we can see how there is almost like a safety in the buffer. When we tell ourselves it's going to take a long time, when we tell ourselves, I'm just going to work really hard to get there, it's almost a way to keep ourselves safe and our nervous system safe. And that's actually a good thing. If you feel like you want to take it slow, take it slow. But if you feel like I've been on my healing journey for a long time and I feel like I've gotten a lot of the pieces, but I can also feel that I'm holding myself back, that I'm kind of stretching it out and I'm kind of leaning out of it. I'm like, yeah, this is probably gonna take a long time. I mean, that's totally me. And usually it's when I go, you know what, it's gonna take a long time for me to get through this, that I actually surrender, or part of me surrenders and realizes, oh wait, is it? And so when it comes to identity, I like to use time in two ways. One, give yourself as much time as you need. Tell yourself you have as much time as you need to heal this. I will show up for this healing for as long as it takes. And that will help you to relieve some of the pressure that builds up, or the judgment of, I'm not going fast enough, right? That part of you that is feeling ashamed that you are dealing with the consequences of the trauma or abuse or whatever you went through. It gives you that permission slip to just be, and that can be a powerful accelerator, but unintentionally so, right? We're not actually doing it to accelerate the process, but just because it relieves that resistance and relieves that pressure, things tend to flow more easily after that. Another is to realize when it is that I am kind of, I'm not trying to push myself to go faster, but I'm doing the opposite, where I'm like slowing it down and like, no, it's gonna take a long time and it feels so big, right? That is actually the resistance that is causing the process to feel heavy and burdensome. It's actually how we're conceptualizing the journey and conceptualizing how our identity will take shape, or how we'll shift into the new self. It feels bigger than it actually has to be. And so in those instances, you want to recognize, well, what I'm reaching for, what I'm wanting to become, if this is to be believed, and totally don't take my word for it. You want to come into coaching and build up your meditation practice and work with me either in a group setting or one-on-one, or whatever ways you want to incorporate this. Maybe you already know, you have a knowing about this already, but definitely this is something you got to experience, right? It's not enough to just hear it from a rando on the internet or a spiritual master. It's not enough to just hear it from someone else. You want to know it in your bones. You have to go through the experience of it. And that's the power of working with a coach or a guide. But if you are to believe that what you're seeking is already within you, then there's this question of, well, is the process so much me becoming a new person, or me allowing the version of me, this different me, allowing it to express now, allowing myself to feel into this part of me? What are the blocks within me? Where are the ways that I'm not allowing myself to even just feel this version of me, to feel this part of me that feels loved, that knows that all is well, that knows that there is goodness in the universe, even amongst all the darkness and the heaviness. There is an overwhelming stream of goodness and love and joy that I can choose to tune into and develop in my life. If that version of me is already here, then what am I waiting for? Why don't I get to know her or them or him? And the same holds true for manifesting. It's less so about wrangling the powers that be and trying to bend the universe to your will, but actually getting to know a version of you that already knows that they're worthy, that already is willing to let it in. It's not so much unraveling all of the limiting beliefs, because trust me, the law of attraction works on everything, even mentally. So if you're mentally focused on limiting beliefs, guess what? You're going to keep attracting again and again and again and again and again and again. You can spend years in that cycle of, I just have to get to the bottom of the next limiting belief. I know I'm still holding on to a lack consciousness somewhere. It's somewhere. It's another thought that I'm thinking. You can spend your whole life doing that work, that inner work, and you'll feel like you're getting somewhere because you're doing something. But the real work The real work, if you really want to become masterful at manifesting, it's actually this simple letting go of an old self and allowing yourself to surrender to a self that already is. It's not something you need to build brick by brick. Unlike your algorithm, you don't have to build it brick by brick. It's something that is already within you. And so if you're in a space where you can tune in with me for just a few seconds, I'm going to show you that this version of you is already here. But like I said, this is something you have to experience. It's not enough to just hear it. And so if you have a moment, if you're not driving or doing anything serious, go ahead and close your eyes or soften your gaze. And as you bring your awareness inwards, I'm going to invite you to notice, where do you feel the most love in your body? It may be in the region of your heart, or maybe in the back of the upper body. But where do you feel love just bursting through? It might even be your entire being. You may be already full of love, but wherever you feel it, I'm just going to invite you to relax into it. Observe it. And now, connected to love, feel for the part of you that is freely loving. It may be a very small part of you, just one cell in your body, or very, very tiny. But just notice that it's there. There is a part of you that loves generously, that is eager to love, that wants to love, that wants to be love, that wants to wake and greet the sky with love, that savors each breath, is in love with life itself. Take a few more breaths, allowing yourself to sense and connect to this part of you. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and return to this moment with me. So as you noticed just now, we didn't necessarily have to do anything. It didn't so much matter where you were on your healing journey. Yes, if you've been doing a lot of work, maybe it was easier to access that part of you. But regardless of where you are, you should have been able to feel even this tiny, tiny atom within you that is love itself. Everything that you're seeking, it comes from this connection with yourself, the great ecosystem that's created through the human experience. We all have very different versions of ourselves. The work that I get to do with clients, and even to some degree with you here on this channel, is connecting those wounded parts of ourselves back to that seed of love and allowing them to realize and remember in real time that this loving energy is already within them. The biggest blocks to healing and manifesting that I've witnessed in myself and in clients is our wanting to control the outside world in order to make our inner world feel safe, so that we can safely express and be these most precious parts of ourselves again, this loving, joyful part of ourselves. We're like, I am not going to let myself tune into that because the world is so dangerous. I've been through things, or I'm not going to let myself fully believe that things are possible because I've been disappointed in my life. So I want to make sure I can control everything else. And when we approach our journey in this way, it's just a tough going. We are never going to have full control. Even when we find healthy people, we might end up pushing them away because they can't perfectly show up in the ways that we want them to or need them to because of our internal state being dependent on what's happening outside. And so if you're dependent on a partner being always perfectly safe, right? Never having any conflict, never having any issues, or never experiencing rejection, never having to wait for divine timing to play out, always afraid that the ultimate ruling is you're not worthy of this and it's never going to happen for you, right? If we're so dependent on what's happening outside, then we restrict ourselves. It gets really hard. Doing this life gets really, really hard. And so when we learn to work with these identities that are already within us, this is the power of working with this part of you that's already within you. You're learning where your true power lies. It's not in controlling the outside, but going within and allowing yourself to feel. And it doesn't have to be a long session, right? I like to go very slowly with clients and myself. We do short segments at a time, and it just lets your nervous system know it's safe to feel that joy again. And, then we might do a little bit of grief work, or we might do a little bit of, shame healing or working with fear. But we do it step by step, but working with this core understanding that it's not something way out there that we need to step into. It's already within you. And so I hope that this video inspires you not to feel like you need to become something new, but you simply need to get to know a different you, a you that is already here, ready for you to connect with. If you're curious about working with me and want to experience this transformation or realizing, right, self-actualizing yourself, then I invite you to book a 60-minute breakthrough session. I work with those who want to access their deeper self and also those who are working to become better lovers of themselves and others. So if you're interested in either track, whether it's the more spiritual oriented deeper self coaching or my intimacy coaching track, the 60-minute breakthrough session will be able to decide what's the best track for you. And I'll also give you some insight into what's blocking you right now. And so if you're interested, the link to book will be below. And if you're ready to claim a spot, I only open a few every season because obviously time is limited. So I can only take on a few clients each season, but you can claim a spot at uniquebelle.com/coaching. And yet again, I have forgotten to introduce myself. I'm Unique Belle, and I'm here to help you access your deeper self and experience soul deep love. If you like this message and you'd like more of it, give it a thumbs up. For now, if you'd like to work with me again, I am accepting private coaching clients, and you can learn more at uniquebelle.com/coaching, or simply send me an email at unique@uniquebelle.com. Thanks for watching. And if you're curious about the deeper self, then why not binge season 1 of the Deeper Self podcast? The episodes are short. They're I think you could probably finish it within 2 hours. So it's like a good movie. You know, if you're baking or cooking, you can go ahead and put it on and yeah, enjoy. It's linked here or over here. It's somewhere here. I will see you in the next video on Thursday.